Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks or grand declarations. Sometimes it sneaks in quietly, like a soft breeze that enters through an open window, unnoticed at first, but impossible to ignore once it wraps around you. There are moments when a man begins to fall in love, not with loud words or dramatic gestures, but with silence, consistency, and small things that speak far louder than anything he could ever say. He may not tell you outright. He might not even realize it himself, but his actions will start to shift. Slowly, subtly, and beautifully. You'll start to feel it before you hear it. There's a difference in how he shows up. The way he looks at you just a second longer than he looks at anyone else. The way he remembers things you didn't even realize you told him. The way he starts to show up in your life, not because he has to, but because he wants to. Love begins quietly like that, in moments that feel small, but change everything. Maybe he doesn't say, "I love you." Maybe he's never been the type to say how he feels at all. But you'll feel it in the way he texts you good morning, and how his voice softens when he says your name. You'll see it in the way he pays attention to your mood, checks in on you when he's busy, or gets just a little jealous when someone else makes you laugh. It's not about control. It's about care. Deep, quiet care that he's still learning how to express. Most men are taught not to show their emotions too easily. They guard their feelings like precious secrets, afraid that vulnerability will make them weak. But love has a way of breaking through even the strongest walls. It doesn't need to shout. It just needs to be felt. And when he's falling, truly falling, his actions will say everything his lips won't. You might wonder if you're imagining it. You might second-guess yourself, but if you look closely, you'll see the truth in the spaces between his words. You'll notice the difference in how he treats you compared to everyone else. You'll feel the warmth in his silence, the weight of his attention, the safety in his presence. These are not accidents. These are not coincidences. These are the quiet signs of a heart that's beginning to open. Carefully, nervously, and completely. So if you've ever asked yourself, is he falling for me? This is for you. Here are 15 ways he's falling in love without admitting it. Not because he doesn't care, but because what he's feeling is deeper than words. And sometimes the deepest love doesn't speak. It simply shows. 1. He remembers the little things you say. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, one of the clearest signs is that he remembers the little things you say. It may seem small on the surface, but it reveals something much deeper. He's not just hearing you, he's truly listening. Every detail you mention, no matter how insignificant it may seem, stays with him. Whether it's the way you take your coffee, the name of your childhood pet, or a passing comment you made about your favorite flower, he remembers because it matters to him. This isn't something he does for everyone. It's not just a good memory. It's a reflection of emotional investment. Love doesn't always start with grand gestures. Sometimes it's hidden in the quiet moments where someone holds onto pieces of your world because they've started to care more than they realize. When he brings up something you said days or weeks ago, without you repeating it, it's his heart reacting before his mind has caught up. He's paying attention because your words hold weight for him, even if he hasn't expressed why. He might casually surprise you with something you mentioned you liked, or ask about something you thought he'd forgotten. And when he does, it feels effortless, as if remembering it came naturally. That's because it did. This behavior isn't loud or dramatic. It's silent but powerful. It's a kind of emotional loyalty that shows he's already connecting with you on a deeper level. Even if he hasn't said anything directly, this simple act reveals the truth he might not be ready to admit. He's falling, slowly and surely, and his memory is simply showing you what his heart is still learning how to say. 2. He looks at you when you are not looking. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, his eyes often give away what his words won't. One of the quietest yet most telling signs is when he looks at you when you're not looking. It's in these stolen glances, that his true feelings begin to surface. He watches you not out of habit, but because something about you draws his attention again and again. He may not even realize how often his gaze finds its way to you. It's almost instinctive. In moments when you're speaking to someone else, laughing, thinking, or just sitting quietly, his eyes search for you, not because he has to, but because he wants to. These glances are not meant to be seen, which makes them even more genuine. He watches you the way someone observes something they care about, carefully, softly, and with meaning. It's not about your appearance alone. It's about the way you move, the way you speak, the way you exist in a space. There's a quiet admiration in his eyes, a kind of stillness that comes only when someone is silently hoping to be close to what they can't yet hold. He may quickly look away when your eyes meet his, pretending it was nothing. But the truth is, in that moment, everything he feels is visible, just for a second. That glance is full of emotions he hasn't put into words yet. And the more often he finds himself watching you when he thinks you don't notice, the clearer it becomes. He's falling for you, piece by piece, in silence. And his eyes are telling the story he hasn't spoken out loud. 3. He gets jealous, but tries to hide it. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, jealousy often appears before the love is fully acknowledged. It's subtle, quiet, and sometimes even confusing, both for him and for you. He might not show it openly, but when someone else gives you attention, or when you speak fondly of another guy, something inside him shifts. His expression may change for just a moment. He might get quieter, more distant, or suddenly change the topic. That's not a coincidence. It's the silent sting of jealousy, the feeling of wanting to be the one you're talking about, even if he's not ready to say it. He doesn't act out or create drama because he doesn't want to expose what he's feeling. But that emotion is real. He notices who you talk to, who makes you smile, and how you respond. And when he feels like someone else is taking space in your world, it unsettles him. Not because he owns you, but because he's begun to care more than he expected. It's that caring, that quiet, emotional investment that turns ordinary moments into personal ones for him. Even though he tries to play it cool, his reactions betray him. He might ask subtle questions, act a little colder for a short while, or suddenly seem more eager to spend time with you. It's his way of reclaiming his place, without confessing what's really going on. This type of jealousy doesn't come from control or insecurity. It comes from hidden love, trying to protect something it hasn't named yet. It's a protective instinct, a quiet way of saying, I wish that was me. And in that unspoken wish, the truth of his feelings begins to unfold. 4. He texts you good morning and good night. When a man texts you good morning and good night consistently, without fail, it's not just a habit. It's a quiet declaration of how much space you occupy in his mind. These are the first and last moments of his day, and he chooses to include you in them. That says more than most direct words ever could. Even if he hasn't admitted his feelings, these small, consistent messages reveal a deep, emotional connection that he's slowly building. A good morning text shows that you were the first person he thought of when he woke up. It's his way of starting the day with you, of letting you know you matter before the chaos of life begins. It doesn't always need to be long or romantic. Sometimes it's just a simple good morning or a silly emoji, but it's the consistency that speaks louder than the words. He wants to make sure you know he's thinking of you. At night, when the world slows down, the good night text becomes even more meaningful. It's a soft check-in, a quiet way of saying, you're on my mind as I end my day. It's intimate without being obvious. He may not be ready to say he's falling for you, but these moments are his way of showing it. He might even wait for your reply before sleeping, not because he needs to, but because your presence brings him comfort. These messages aren't just routine. They are rituals, and when someone makes you a part of their daily rituals, it's not casual anymore. It's emotional. It's consistent. It's love, still learning how to say its name. 5. He always wants to spend more time with you. When a man is falling in love but hasn't admitted it yet, one of the strongest signs is that he always finds ways to spend more time with you. Whether it's planned or spontaneous, he'll look for excuses to be around you. It's not just about filling time. It's about being close to someone who makes him feel something different, something deeper. Even if he doesn't fully understand his feelings yet, his actions show that your presence brings him comfort, joy, and a sense of belonging. He may suggest small outings, ask to join you on errands, or linger longer than necessary after a conversation. These moments might seem casual, but they carry weight. When he's around you, he feels more alive, more understood, and more at ease. It's not just the things you do together, it's how he feels when he's with you. That feeling becomes something he starts to crave, quietly, consistently, and without trying to name it. Even when he's busy, he'll make time. He might change his schedule or adjust his plans, not because he has to, but because being around you feels worth it. Time with you doesn't feel like an obligation, it feels like a privilege. He doesn't say he's falling in love, but he shows it through his willingness to be near you, to share simple moments, and to find comfort in your presence. The desire to spend more time isn't always loud. It might come in the form of small invitations, shared silences, or sudden messages just asking what you're doing. But underneath all of it is the quiet truth. He's falling for you, and his heart keeps pulling him closer, even if he hasn't said a word about it yet. 6. He listens to you more than anyone else. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, the way he listens to you becomes one of the most telling signs. He doesn't just hear your words, he absorbs them. There's a difference between casual conversation and intentional listening, and with him, it's always the latter. He pays attention to what you say, how you say it, and even what you leave unsaid. He's focused, present, and quietly tuned in because your voice has become something he values deeply. While others might nod along or give half-hearted replies, he leans in, not just physically, but emotionally. He remembers your stories, your opinions, your worries, and your dreams. He makes you feel heard, not out of politeness, but because he genuinely wants to understand you. This kind of attention doesn't happen by accident. It's driven by a growing affection that he may not yet know how to express in words. He'll ask thoughtful questions, follow up on things you mentioned days ago, and notice shifts in your tone or mood. If you say something meaningful, even in passing, he doesn't forget. He takes it with him, holds on to it, and sometimes brings it up later, not to impress you, but because it mattered to him. It's in these quiet, consistent moments that you begin to feel seen in a way that's rare. His listening becomes a form of care, a silent language of love. He may not have confessed anything outright, but the way he listens says what his heart is too shy to admit. When someone truly listens to you, not just with their ears, but with their entire presence, it's because they've already started falling, slowly and silently, for everything you are. 7. He smiles differently when he sees you. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, one of the purest signs is the way he smiles when he sees you. It's not just any smile, it's different, softer, warmer, uncontrolled. It's the kind of smile that escapes before he can hide it, the kind that lights up his face even when he doesn't say a word. It happens naturally, like a reflex, because your presence triggers something gentle and real in him. You might notice it in the way his eyes soften when you enter a room, or how his whole expression changes as soon as you appear. It's not forced or polite, it's genuine. There's something about you that makes him feel at ease, something he may not fully understand yet, but it shows. Even if he's in a bad mood or stressed, seeing you pulls that smile out of him. It's not just happiness, it's connection. Sometimes he might try to hide it, especially if he's unsure of his feelings or isn't ready to show them. He may look down, turn away, or quickly change the subject, but the moment is there, brief, unguarded, and real. That smile is the emotional truth that slips through the silence. It's the joy he doesn't know how to explain, the comfort he feels just being near you. He doesn't need to say he's falling for you. You'll see it in the way he lights up, even if just for a second, every time your eyes meet. And that smile, the one reserved only for you, says more than any confession ever could. It's a silent whisper of affection, a quiet proof that you've already touched something deep inside him. 8. He helps you without being asked. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, one of the most telling signs is the way he steps in to help you without needing to be asked. His support shows up in small, thoughtful ways that feel natural rather than forced. He notices when you're overwhelmed, tired, or in need of something, and before you can even say a word, he's already there doing something about it. It's not about proving himself. It's about quietly wanting to make your life easier because he cares. Whether it's helping you carry something heavy, offering a ride, fixing something broken, or even just checking in when he senses you're stressed, these gestures are his way of being present. He doesn't wait for permission because he's already emotionally invested, even if he hasn't admitted it out loud. His actions speak volumes about his growing feelings, often louder than any words ever could. There's something deeply intimate in how he anticipates your needs. He pays attention to the little things, not to gain favor, but because he's genuinely tuned into your well-being. And often, he doesn't make a big deal out of it. He won't boast or expect thanks. He just quietly shows up, time and time again. These consistent, thoughtful efforts are a reflection of his heart reaching out for connection. Helping you becomes his way of showing love without saying the word. It's subtle but powerful, and often the kind of support that stays with you. When someone cares enough to act without needing to be asked, it means they're already invested in your happiness. He may not say he's falling for you, but the way he shows up, without hesitation, is all the proof you need. 9. He gets nervous around you sometimes. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, nervousness is one of the emotions that slips through before he can control it. Even the most confident guy can suddenly feel unsure when he's around someone he truly cares about. It's not because he's weak or anxious, it's because you matter. Your presence shifts something inside him, and he becomes more aware of how he looks, what he says, and how you might see him. That awareness creates a quiet tension, and in that tension, the truth of his feelings begins to show. You might notice it in the way he fidgets with his hands, avoids too much eye contact, or stumbles over his words around you. He may laugh at the wrong moment, or hesitate before speaking, not because he doesn't know what to say, but because he's afraid of saying too much. He wants to come across right. He wants to be someone you see as worth your time. And sometimes, that pressure makes him act differently around you than he does with others. This nervousness is not constant. It often appears in vulnerable moments, when you're alone, when you compliment him, or when the conversation gets a little deeper. It's a sign that he's not just casually interacting with you. He's feeling something bigger, and it makes him a little more cautious, a little more careful, because your opinion of him truly matters. He's emotionally invested, even if he hasn't said it aloud. Being nervous around someone is often misunderstood, but in love, it's one of the most honest responses. It means his heart is involved, even if his words haven't caught up yet. And in those quiet, awkward moments, you're seeing the truth. He's falling for you, even if he doesn't quite know how to say it. 10. He defends you when others don't. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, one of the strongest signs is the way he defends you when others don't. It's instinctual. The moment someone disrespects you, talks down to you, or tries to make you feel small, he steps in. sometimes quietly, sometimes boldly, but always with intention. He can't stand to see you hurt, misunderstood, or left alone in uncomfortable situations. Even if he hasn't spoken his feelings out loud, this protective response reveals exactly where his heart is. He might challenge someone's rude comment, shift the conversation when things get uncomfortable, or speak up when you're being overlooked. And sometimes it's not about arguments or drama. It's in the way he sides with you when no one else does, how he supports your ideas when others dismiss them, or how he stands beside you when things get tense. He doesn't do it to impress you. He does it because your dignity matters deeply to him. Love often hides in action, not just in words. And when a man quietly but firmly places himself between you and the world's cruelty, it's a silent confession of care. He may not be ready to tell you he loves you, but in those moments, he's already proving it. Defending you is his way of saying, "You're worth protecting. You matter to me." It's in those unexpected moments, when you're vulnerable or under pressure, that his loyalty shows. He doesn't let the world turn against you, because emotionally, he's already chosen your side. And that unspoken choice, that quiet shield he becomes for you, is one of the clearest signs that his heart is already yours, even if he hasn't found the words to say it yet. 11. He includes you in his future plans. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, his words about the future begin to subtly shift. He starts including you in his plans, almost without realizing it. It's not always dramatic or obvious. There's no sudden talk of weddings or forever. But in the small, casual ways, he begins to make space for you in the days ahead. He might say things like, "We should go there sometime," or "You'd love that place." And those simple phrases carry a deeper truth. He's imagining a future where you're still around. He may talk about concerts he wants to go to, vacations he hopes to take, or even career moves he's planning. And somewhere in that vision, you're there. He doesn't frame it as a favor or a request. It just feels natural to mention you alongside those ideas. That's because deep down, he's already started building a place for you in his life, even if he hasn't admitted the reason why. It's not just about the big plans either. It's in the way he talks about next week, next month, or something as simple as a movie he wants to watch with you one day. These moments aren't random. They're signs of emotional investment. When someone is falling for you, they begin to picture you next to them, not just now, but in the moments to come. And even if he hasn't said how he feels, his vision of the future quietly tells the story. Without saying, "I love you," he's showing it in the most honest way, by making sure that wherever he's going, you're already part of the journey. That inclusion isn't just thoughtful, it's love, unfolding in small and beautiful ways. 12. He checks on you even when he's busy. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, one of the quietest yet most meaningful things he does is check on you, even when he's busy. No matter how full his day is, how many tasks he has to handle, or how stressed he might be, you still find a way into his thoughts. He may not be constantly texting or calling, but he always finds a moment to ask how you're doing, if you've eaten, or if you made it home safely. These small check-ins aren't just habits. They're reflections of care that runs deeper than he's ready to say. He might send a short message in between meetings or leave a voice note late at night, not because he has time, but because he makes time. That difference says everything. When someone is truly invested in you, their attention isn't based on convenience, it's based on connection. And for him, staying connected to you becomes a quiet priority, even if he doesn't openly admit it yet. It's in the way he notices when you go quiet or senses when something feels off. He doesn't need a reason to ask how your day went. He simply wants to know. And it's not about checking a box or keeping score. It's about making sure you're okay, because your well-being matters to him in a way that feels personal. Love doesn't always show up in grand gestures. Sometimes it's in the ways someone chooses you in the middle of chaos, reaching out, asking softly, "Are you all right?" And when he does that, especially when his own world is busy or overwhelming, it's a quiet confession. He may not be ready to name what he feels, but he's already showing you that his heart is slowly, surely choosing you. 13. He gives you compliments in subtle ways when a man is falling in love without admitting it. One of the ways it quietly shows is through the subtle compliments he gives you. He may not come out and say, "You're beautiful," in a dramatic or obvious way, but he finds small, unexpected moments to let you know how much he admires you. It's in the way he says you're easy to talk to, how he notices your laugh, or how he comments on your intelligence, your energy, or the way you handle things. These aren't compliments he throws around casually. They're intentional, even if they sound light or playful on the surface. He might compliment things others don't even notice, like the way you explain something, your choice of words, or your sense of humor. And often, he does it when you're least expecting it. Sometimes he might mask it as a joke or add a little sarcasm, but behind it is a real appreciation he hasn't fully voiced. He's observing you closely, not to criticize, but because everything about you is starting to matter to him. His compliments aren't loud or attention-seeking. They're gentle, almost shy, and they reveal just how much he's paying attention. It's his way of offering pieces of admiration without crossing the line into confession. Maybe he's not ready to say what he feels, or maybe he's afraid of what it would change. But still, in those soft, scattered words, he gives away more than he realizes. These compliments aren't just words. They're quiet signs of affection, small glimpses of love forming in the background. And as they continue, it becomes clear. He sees something in you that stands out, something he can't help but acknowledge, even if he's not quite ready to call it love. He opens up about personal things slowly when a man is falling in love without admitting it. One of the most intimate signs is how he slowly begins to open up about personal things. It doesn't happen all at once, and it's rarely obvious. But over time, you start to notice he's letting you into parts of his world that others don't usually see. He begins to share stories from his past, his fears, his regrets, and even the things that make him feel vulnerable. These aren't the kind of things he talks about with just anyone. When he shares them with you, it's a quiet sign that you matter more than he's letting on. This kind of opening up isn't about drama or oversharing. It's about trust. He feels emotionally safe around you, even if he hasn't said it out loud. Maybe he tells you about a tough time he went through, or someone who broke his heart, or a dream he's been holding on to for years. These confessions may come out slowly, piece by piece, but every time he shares a little more, he's pulling you closer into his emotional space. He doesn't do this to impress you. In fact, he might hesitate or downplay it afterward, unsure of how much he's revealing. But the fact that he's letting his guard down at all speaks volumes. Falling in love often begins with this kind of emotional risk, offering someone a glimpse of your truth and hoping they'll hold it gently. And that's what he's doing with you. He may not be ready to label his feelings, but in those honest, quiet conversations, he's giving you access to his inner world. That level of openness, even when slow and cautious, is one of the clearest signs that his heart is slowly, deliberately falling for you. He treats you differently than he treats others. When a man is falling in love without admitting it, one of the most revealing signs is how he treats you differently than he treats anyone else. You may not notice it right away, but over time, it becomes clear. There's something about the way he looks at you, talks to you, and shows up for you that sets you apart from everyone else in his life. It's not always grand or obvious, but it's consistent. There's a gentleness in his tone, a patience in his actions, and a kind of attention that feels personal, because it is. Around others, he might be laid back, distant, or even reserved. But with you, there's effort. He listens more closely, responds more thoughtfully, and pays attention to details others might overlook. He may not even realize he's doing it, but his entire energy shifts when it's about you. It's in the way he puts his phone away during your conversations, or how he remembers things you mentioned in passing, or how he tries just a little harder to make you smile. You might also notice that he protects your feelings more carefully than he does with others. He's quicker to defend you, slower to joke at your expense, and more aware of your reactions. When you speak, he listens with more intention. When you're around, his focus naturally drifts toward you, even if he's trying to act like nothing's changed. This difference in how he treats you isn't random. It's emotional. It's unspoken, but real. He may not have said the words out loud, but his behavior tells the story for him. And in that quiet contrast, in the way he treats you like you matter more than the rest, you see the truth he hasn't yet admitted. He's falling for you, whether he knows it or not.